Hey, how you doing today? I'm Coach Ryan Fanley from the VIPAR Pit. Today I want to talk about a programming style that you can use that incorporates both strength and power training as well as hypertrophy training. A lot of people in the gym, they want to build muscle, but they also want to be strong. And so this is what I am actually doing currently in my program to make sure that I'm hitting both of those goals. Now, before we go any further, a couple things. First of all, you can't ride two horses with one rear end. So if you want to be the best at only strength or the best at only size, it's better to probably focus your efforts in a given training block on either strength or size. However, they are compatible training methods to a degree, so you can incorporate both of them in the same cycle. The next thing I'm going to tell you is this is not a magical program. This isn't a magical bullet. I'm not trying to sit here and tell you this is the greatest program ever. It's so amazing. It'll solve all your dreams. And next thing you know, you'll be a business coach with a Ferrari too. It's nothing like that. It's a good, solid program. But if you want the hyperbole and all the BS, go ahead and click on one of those other clickbait ads you see on the side. I don't know which side it is here on my video on your YouTube channel. But anyway, let's dig right in. So when we talk about strength and power and bodybuilding and hypertrophy, a lot of people when they set up their training programs fall into one of two camps. On one side, people go into the gym and they just wing it. They do what they feel like on a given day for a given body part. And for building muscle, that can work if you work really, really hard. A lot of bodybuilders don't have a properly periodized plan. They don't lay out every single set rep for the next 12 months. They go in and they train by feel and they train really, really hard. On the other end of the spectrum, you have people that plan things down to the exact set, rep, tempo, and rest period for 12 months in advance, following this perfect little nicely periodized plan. Well, sometimes life gets in the way and it doesn't always go that way. This program that I'm about to show you, you get the best of both worlds. There's a little bit of planning and a little bit of ability to wing it, if you will, or auto-regulate your training. So basically, let's dive right in. The structure of the protocol here is that the first part of the week, Monday and Tuesday, are dedicated to your strength and power days. So you're gonna start the week off on Monday with an upper body strength day. Now the rule on the strength and power days is 2 to 4 exercises tops. That is it. On the upper body day, I'll tend to do 4 exercises, 2 upper body pushes and 2 pulls. And the lower strength day, I will do just 2 exercises, a squat variation and a deadlift variation. This is not the time or the place to throw a bunch of stuff at a wall and see what sticks. Pick your compound basics, the ones that you can get strong in, and go from there. So an example of an upper strength day, you could start off with a steep barbell incline press and chin-ups, and then finish off with close grip bench press with chains and heavy rows. Okay, it's all heavy, it's all full recovery. It's all, the goal of these days is to slap plates on the bar and get strong with good technique, of course. For your lower strength day, you could start with heavy front squats and finish off with sumo deadlifts. There does need to be some structure in how you incorporate your exercises here, which we can get into in a little bit, but first we're going to continue on with the week. So you start the week with strength, get strong, slap plates on the bar, and this part of the week is periodized. Okay, this is where you do your planning. This is where you lay out your sets and reps for maybe 12 to 16 weeks at a time, so you have an idea of where you're going and you stick to the script, okay? Wednesday's a recovery day. Recovery can mean several things for different people. For me currently, I like to do some low intensity, steady state cardio on this day, just to bring blood flow, improve cardiac output, improve health, all those things. It's got benefits. I'll also do some stretching on this day, some body tempering, etc. For some people, recovery day is simply an off day. For some people, having something that they need to do creates stress. So this may be take a hot bath at the end of the day kind of recovery day. Then we get to the back half of the week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. These are your hypertrophy and bodybuilding days. Let me switch over here. Hypertrophy and bodybuilding days. These days, while they're gonna have a little bit of structure, are gonna allow for a lot more auto-regulation. So Thursday is your upper body push hypertrophy. So that we're talking here pecs, deltoids, medial and anterior deltoids, and triceps. The next day, Friday, is legs hypertrophy. So we're talking quads, hamstrings, calves, glutes, and adductors. Yes, we're including those as well. And then Saturday is your upper body pull hypertrophy. So for that day, I like to do lats, rhomboids, posterior deltoids, and biceps. And then Sunday is another recovery day. Again, might be steady state cardio, it might be a bath, it might be any one of those things. So this is the structure of the training program. And this structure I will probably follow for anywhere between the next, I've got the next 12 weeks mapped out, but I may follow it for a full 24. It's just a good solid structure. I do very well with it. I've done it in the past. I didn't invent this. I'm not the first person to do this. I'm just giving you my interpretation of it. Okay, so now that we've laid out the split, I'm gonna get a little bit into how we structure the actual training day. All right, so first I want to talk about the setup for the strength days. The strength days, again, they need to be compound exercises that you can use a lot of weight on. So you're not using a chest fly or a biceps curl. These are things like your heavy presses, your heavy pulls. So on the upper body day, typically, like I said, I will do 4 exercises. You could just do 2. It's really up to you. Whatever you need most to work on your weaknesses. Me personally, I'll do 4. I'll start with an incline to overhead press, anywhere in that range. Right now it's a steep incline, so around 60 degrees. Sometimes it may be a lower incline. I'll just cycle it and wave it as I go. Then a flat press of some type. And this can be with or without. Bands change. It can be full range of motion, partial range of motion. You got a lot of liberties on this, okay? Then a vertical pull, like a chin up, pull up, pull down. I prefer chin-ups and pull-ups if possible, just because they're better for neurological recruitment for strength. And then a horizontal pull or a row of some sort. So that's your upper body day. Whatever exercise you pick, you need to plan and periodize it. So I will personally, right now, I'm keeping my exercises the same for 3 consecutive weeks in a row. Then I'll switch to new exercises. You could also stretch it out longer. You could have the same exercise for 6 weeks or 12 weeks and waive the sets and reps. For me, I'm doing the same set and rep protocol, same exercise for 3 straight weeks, and then I cycle to the next thing. For lower body, pretty simple. A quad dominant movement and a posterior chain dominant movement. So we're gonna hit one exercise that targets the quads, so things like a front squat, really any type of squatting variation where you allow the shin to be at a forward angle to a degree. Box squat I would consider more posterior chain dominant. And then a posterior chain dominant movement, so deadlift, box squats, good mornings, those all fit the bill for the lower body day. Again, using exercises where you can use a lot of load. Set and rep protocols, I'm just listing a couple ideas here for you. Again, it's going to depend on your goals. So if you lean towards more the side of wanting to be stronger, this day is going to be a heavier day. You might be doing 8 sets of 1 to 3, really, really heavy. If your training is more geared towards bodybuilding and you're just looking to incorporate some strength work, you might be at the higher side of the rep bracket. So things like 5 sets of 5 or 7-5-3, 7-5-3 wave loading, but these are just some options. Right now, personally, I'm doing 7 sets of 3 to 5 on my compound movement days, to build a volume base. And then in my next cycle, I'll cycle to something like 3 sets of 2. So the volume gets pulled way back so I can really increase the intensity of my lifts with more recovery, okay? So that is the basis for the strength day. Again, your mindset has to be to shift as much weight as possible, as explosively as possible with perfect technique here. Don't worry or care about feeling a certain muscle group squeeze or activation. Just get in, move weight properly, and get out. Now we're gonna talk about the hypertrophy days. And this is where a little bit more fun comes in. So with the bodybuilding or hypertrophy days, you're gonna have a lot more flexibility to auto-regulate your training or kind of train by feel. The only thing that is set in stone on the bodybuilding days is what body parts you will be training on a given day when you go in the gym. Other than that, the exercises you choose, as well as the set and rep protocols, are going to be based on feel. You don't decide until you walk in the gym that day, okay? So when we look, first of all, at how it's structured, for upper body push, the body parts you know you're gonna work are your pecs, your front and side shoulders or medial anterior delts, your triceps, and your abs. I threw abs in there just because I haven't put them in any other part of the week. So I like to have kind of 4 to 5 slots, if you will, for these days. So, you know those body parts, you go in the gym, you pick your exercise based on feel. Maybe you don't feel like you could really do a compound press, so you choose to do pec flies, cable flies for your pecs. That's totally fine on this day. If If you do feel like pressing, maybe you do a machine press or a dumbbell press. It can be compound or isolated movements on any of these. It really doesn't matter. It's based on your feel and your recovery. Legs, doing quadriceps, hamstrings, calves, glutes, and adductors. Again, compound or isolation. Maybe one day for quads, you're feeling good, so you do leg presses, which is compound, and then hamstrings, you do isolated leg curls. Other days, you might decide to do dumbbell RDLs for hamstrings and maybe leg extensions for quads. It really doesn't matter, because the goal here is to get blood flowing into the target muscle tissue and create some metabolic stress and fatigue. That's all that matters here. We're not trying to shift heavy loads. It's not periodized, it's not planned. On the upper pull day, you're gonna do the lats with a vertical pull, the rhomboids in the lats a little bit with a horizontal pull, your rear delts, or your posterior shoulders, and your biceps. You can also include some forearms in there, that's fine too. So those are the body parts you're working. Now, the way you structure the set and reps is you predetermine 4 different protocols that look really different on paper, okay? That are all bodybuilding based, that are all metabolic stress based. And you simply pick and choose, rotate through them based on the body part. There's no rhyme or reason. So what I'm doing personally, this is my own decision for this block. Option A, 3 sets of 20 to 25. Option B, 8 sets of 6 to 8 with incomplete recovery. So we're talking 30 to 45 seconds rest here. Option C, 3 sets of a 10, 10, 10 drop set. And then option D is a 3 exercise tri-set for 8 to 10 reps each. So I'm gonna tell you how this panned out for me in an upper body pull workout that I did yesterday. So I started off my upper pull with the rhomboids, the horizontal row. So I did a low row, plate loaded low row, and I started with 3 sets of 10, 10, 10 drop set. Then I went to the lats, a vertical pulling movement, and I went with 8 sets of 6 to 8 with incomplete recovery on a machine lat pull down. From there, with the rear delts, I went over to a pec deck and did reverse pec deck, 3 sets of 20 to 25. And then I finished up on biceps. I did a 3 exercise tri-set, incline hammer curls, preacher curls, and prone incline spider curls, each for 8 to 10 reps each, back to back to back in a tricep format. And that was the workout for the day. Now, next time I go in, I might do the tricep for my vertical pulling movements and do 3 different pull down movements and just rotate these options. Or I could keep it the same. That's where the flexibility lies. You go based on feel. Some days you're gonna feel, for example, on my leg day this week, my quads, my knees were feeling a little bit trashed from the strength work earlier. So I opted to do 3 sets of 20 to 25 low pulley split squats, because that feels really good for my knees and it's high reps, so it's not a lot of weight. And I left the session with my knees feeling a lot better than I did going into the session. If my knees had felt great, I may have done something a little heavier. A squat-based movement, a bilateral squat-based movement for 8 sets of 6 to 8 with incomplete recovery. Okay, again, you have to listen to your body and go by feel. It's also where you do what you enjoy, all right? Yes, we want to make progress in the gym, but we also don't want to hate our workouts. We want to like what we're doing. So this is a way to incorporate some fun, to incorporate some variety. Variety is great for muscle building and introducing a novel stimulus. So use these days, these hypertrophy and bodybuilding days, to incorporate new exercise you haven't tried before, new machines at a different gym, anything like that. So moving forward now, so I've got these 4 options. I'm gonna cycle through these 4 options with all the different barrier parts for a little while until I get bored with it. It might be 4 weeks, it might be 6 weeks, it might be 12 weeks. But then once I do, I'm simply gonna change my 4 options to something drastically different. It could be 3 sets of 4, 4, 4, 4, 4 hypertrophy clusters. It could be 100 total rep goal in as few sets as possible. But basically my 4 options are gonna look different than they are here to introduce a new stimulus to the body. And then I'll rotate through those again using different exercises for each of these days. So that's how you structure this program. I hope you got something out of this video. I wanted to teach you a way to incorporate both strength work and bodybuilding and hypertrophy work into the same program with both some structure and some flexibility. For me personally, I have a little bit of OCD in my mind, and so the planning and periodization on the strength days really helps kind of scratch that OCD itch. But then I also get bored easily if I plan out too much. So that's where the bodybuilding days, it gives me some variety, some flexibility, and it allows me to listen to my body and not just do what's on paper and end up getting hurt because I wasn't ready for a certain thing. Okay, I hope that makes sense to you guys. I'm Coach Ryan Family from the Viper Pit. If you like these videos, please hit subscribe below. Leave me any questions you have below this, and I'll catch you later. God bless.